Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's happening, everybody? I want to welcome you back to another episode. And today, here's what we're talking about: the power of a seed. I was going to call it something else, but I think I'm liking these power titles that I've been using the past week or so. The power of a seed. Let's think about what is a seed. I'm going to jump right into this because, I want to get you in and out of here. I'm going to jump right into what is a seed. And when I was thinking about what a seed is, I also thought about this one particular seed that basically, has been the seed that's pretty much killed most of humanity. When I say, I mean, that's a harsh word. Right now it's devouring our businesses, it's devouring our families, it's devouring so many things. And it's probably not something that you automatically think about. You may not be totally under the awareness of what this particular seed is. I'm going to tell you what that seed is. And the thing about this particular seed is that there's two sides of the seed. And so we're going to talk about both sides, but let's just think about today as we look. This is the last day, sixth day of the week. It's Friday. Most people say TGIF, thank God it's Friday. And so let's look at what a seed is. What is a seed? A seed is, man, it says, wow, look at that, a man's semen. It says a man's semen. This is one of the definitions, is what it says: a flowering plant's unit of reproduction. A seed is a plant. A seed a seed can produce a forest. A seed can produce a tree. But let's ask a question. Would you rather have a seed or the fruit? Now, the thing about the fruit is, like, I can go in my kitchen right now. I got a watermelon. I could cut the watermelon. Oh, man, that watermelon's good. It's already the watermelon. Which would you prefer, the seed or the fruit? Many of us focus on the fruit every single day. We're constantly going after the fruit. Now, here's the thing about fruit. Fruit tastes good, especially when it's ripe. I've got some strawberries that I cut up the other day. I'm cutting these strawberries. When I tasted the strawberries, I was like, yo, this is the season for strawberries. Nothing like getting strawberries in the out of season. So when I see strawberries kind of like in the wintertime, a lot of times they're not sweet. But when I see in the summertime, when they show up and it's like right now and into the summer, those strawberries are amazing. I'm talking about just tasting good. What would you rather, the seed or the fruit? Many of us wake up, each day and we go after the fruit. Oh, I need some money. But what if I told you you are walking around with a seed that could transform your life? Okay, so I did this thing, and I may have talked about this before. I did this thing where I'm looking at all the experiences of my life. I'm looking at all the circumstances of my life. I'm looking at all the skills that I have, things that just kind of like things that you probably overlook. You're not thinking about them on a regular basis. And I'm looking at these things. I'm saying to myself, well, where's the power in all that? Because I believe, nope, wrong word. I know God planted a seed within me. Now, I had to change that word because believe, and I'm gonna tell you about that word in a second. Believe is kind of one of these things that, believe is the first level. Knowing is when we can subconsciously do something, when we no longer think about it. Believing, we're still trying to figure out if something is true. So what is the power of a seed? So I'm looking at all these things that all this stuff that God has shown me. God will show you something about yourself. He says, look, see, here's the thing. The seed that God planted in you, you don't even know what it looks like. It's bigger than you. Uh-oh. Now, see, because we've never seen our own seed. except for the fact that it says a man's semen, right? Except, oh, that created Jared and Jacob. That created your kids. You were created because of a seed. But we've never really seen what our seed looks like. Now, I challenge you, look at your life. That's why I do this Account for Your Life podcast. Account for Life podcast is something that God planted within me. God planted something within you too. What did God plant within you? I'm gonna ask you that. What did God plant within you? Do you know? Now, here's the thing. You may be listening to this podcast on YouTube, Facebook. You may even be catching clips on Instagram. What did God plant within you? What is your seed? See, the thing about a seed starts off small. It's so small that we overlook it. It's so small that we look and say, man, I would much rather have the result. I would much rather have this thing, this watermelon. I'd much rather have that strawberry. I'd much rather have the blueberries. I'd much rather have the raspberry and the apples, the oranges. I'd much rather have those. Well, then you're going to need that over and over and over again. But a seed is one of these things that it will continue to produce what it is that it's supposed to produce over and over again. All right, now I'm gonna get to the one thing. Here's the one seed that's causing believers, even successful people, is causing people to lose their power. Do you know what the seed is? It's called doubt. The seed of doubt. Do you know that's the seed the enemy sowed? The enemy sowed the seed of doubt from the very beginning. He says to Eve, Eve, is it true? Is it true that you shouldn't eat from the tree? I'm paraphrasing. I'm not reading it. He's asking Eve a series of questions and questioning her understanding of what it is that, she should know. If you eat it, God's trying to keep something from you. See, he says that, it's the tree of knowledge and of good and evil. So think about this. He's sowing a seed of doubt because he's like, well, now you don't know something. You don't really know what this tree is. You don't really know what you can get. And if you were to partake of this particular fruit, then you're going to be like God. Wait a second. Is as much as Eve knew. See, Adam knew. That's why he didn't go to Adam, because Adam was like, get out of here, man. I already know who I am. See, the problem I see in this whole story, Adam had not done his job. Now, it doesn't say that in the scripture, but I'm seeing this in the story. Adam had not quite fully given exactly what God's given him, because now before Eve was created, Adam was there. It doesn't really say how much time, but Adam was already there. God had already spoken to Adam. God had already spoken to him. Adam has to take the word to his wife. I believe Adam may not have expressed something enough. Stay away from that tree. Don't go over there, right? I ain't going over. And that's the thing. Adam never went. But she went. She wandered off. She's over there. And he sows the seed of doubt. Let me ask you a question today. What seed of doubt have you been carrying about yourself? What seed of doubt have you been carrying? There's meaning, do you not realize that you are stronger than what you believe? Yesterday, I was on my in the 100X community. So we have these things called family rooms. I'm in the family room with the folks in my group, and see, people can see things that you can't see. And one of the family room members, I had just gotten in there and I had a headache. I wasn't sure if I was going to go on, but I went on anyway. I had a headache, and one of the members said something. She asked me for my seed, but she didn't ask for the seed. She asked me for the fruit. She says, can you give me what you are carrying? I need it right now. And it's interesting because it was like, yeah, I can do that. That's easy because it's already in me and I can pass it on to you. I can give you what I'm already producing. I'll say it again. I can give you what I'm already producing. Sometimes we're producing something and people can see it. Man, can I get that? Hey, man, you got something I don't have. And I gave of myself to her. But here's the thing. What happened when I gave it to her, everybody else got it. All of a sudden, it's like, this seed that I knew I was carrying it, but sometimes you're not passing it out. But what if the enemy came and sowed seeds of doubt? Says, you know what? Your headache's hurting. Don't go in there today. Because the enemy was trying not to get me in there. He's like, don't go in there today. You don't need to be in there. And he said, but then the Holy Spirit said, no, you're going anyway. But that was because I had to get in there to help. So look, the power of a seed is this. There's a seed of doubt that's been planted within you. This is where we have to truly focus our life and our time, removing this seed of doubt. The doubt that's in us. We have to remove it. What is the doubt? The doubt to go forward in our businesses, the doubt to go forward in something that seems a bit challenging, the doubt to produce something that, we've been thinking about for the past year or two, the doubt to go forward with, I'm going to make a big decision to change my life. The doubt to say, you know what, I'm not going to allow I'm not going to allow this circumstance to rule my life, to just root out everything so that we can then begin to produce the actual seed that we are. See, everybody, and I probably say this almost every day, everybody has been created to solve a problem for someone else. You are a tree that should be planted by a river of water that should be yielding fruit in its season. That whatever you do will prosper is what it says in Psalms. Whatever you do will prosper. You are that seed. But here's the thing. Are you willing to wait so that the fruit can develop? That's where believers, that's where people of faith, that's where many people fall and falter because they are afraid of the waiting time. Here's what I've discovered. I'm going to let you go right after this. Here's what I've discovered in the waiting time. The time is going to go no matter what. No matter what, time's just going to go. It's going to go. And one day you're going to look up and it's been 51 years. I'm 51 years old. I'll be 52 this year. You just look up. I'm 51. That happened so fast. I remember when I was riding my big wheel, right? I remember I turned 5 years old and I was sick. And my mom had a party for me. All my friends are at my house. And I get a brand new big wheel, if you guys can remember that, a big wheel. But I couldn't ride it that day. Everybody else rode my big wheel. But that's 46 years ago. I can't go back. I can't go back to age 5. I can't go back into my mother's womb. As of today, the power of the seed says that you should renew, you should change, you should decide to allow your seed to develop. Now here's the thing, but Jay, it's been so time already. Like, man, I don't know how much time I have. We don't know how much time we have. But you're here today. That means that if you're here today and you're seeing this podcast and you're hearing these words, I'm just letting you know, these are not my words, none of them. None of these words are mine. These are all words from headquarters. Headquarters, where's headquarters? The kingdom of heaven. I'm an ambassador for the king, and all I do is speak the messages that he gives me. That's it. So he gives me the message, I give him to you, and here's the thing. I can take no credit for anything that's happened. I can take no credit for anything that I've done, will do, things that you will see come out of this podcast, books that you will see written, best-selling books, best-selling programs, business just blow up overnight. You're going to say to yourself, all that started from that podcast that started in 2017. June of 2017 is when I started preaching the message of account for your life. 2017. So here we are today. We're at what I call the precipice. I got that from, that's in the Matrix. The precipice of our lives. And the power of a seed says, let this ability grow out of you now. Let this ability grow out of you now so that you can produce a harvest for the King, so he can then take your harvest and use your harvest to expand where it is that he wants to expand, taking you with him, allowing you to participate in his mission field. You ready for that? Take your ability and allow that seed to grow. Get rid of, remove, right? Just stomp on that seed of doubt. Make sure you tell the seed of doubt that it's a liar, it's not true, and all you're doing now is focusing on what is true about you. So I hope you got value from this today, and I look forward to serving you each and every day. Make sure that you tell somebody else. Say, hey, look, man, this Account for Life podcast, man, is helping me to see something different about myself, and maybe it can help you as well. So I appreciate you. I love you guys, and I will see you back on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.